Hey everyone, thanks for being with me today. The passage that we're looking at today is, for one, just a beautiful reminder of the hope that we have in God, but it's also a passage that's near and dear to my heart. It's a passage that God has used in many seasons where I'm walking through something difficult or my family is walking through something difficult. He has used this passage to speak to my heart and remind me of the hope that I have in Him. And so this passage is Romans 5, 3 through 5, and it says, "Not only so, we also rejoice in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God has poured out His love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, whom He has given us." I love that passage. And before we go any further, I want us to make sure that we pick up on a certain word. At the beginning, in verse 3, it encourages us, Paul encourages us, because of everything that we received in and through God, because of His great love for us and the hope that we have in Him. He encourages us that we would also rejoice in our sufferings. Notice that he doesn't encourage us to rejoice because of our sufferings. He says, as you focus on everything that you've received in and through God, in and through Jesus, in and through the Holy Spirit working in your life, you can rejoice in your sufferings. Long time ago, my dad was helping me move something. And we've got this family truck. It's been in our family for a long time. And it is solid steel. That thing is built tough. And we were moving something, and I had the tailgate down, and the job was done. So what did I do? I lifted the tailgate up. Well, my dad's hand happened to be right where the mechanism meets the tailgate, and his fingers got slammed in the tailgate. That type of pain, right? That kind of suffering, that's meaningless. My dad didn't learn anything from that experience except to not trust his son around tailgates. God, as we walk through these seasons of suffering, these seasons of turmoil, He promises, one, to meet us right where we're at. But He also promises that in the midst of those seasons that we're going to learn something, that He's going to produce something in us as we focus on Him and fixate on Him and trust Him in the midst of those circumstances. It's going to produce something. Because God tells us throughout His Word that He doesn't waste anything, that nothing is beyond His control, and that He understands what's going on far before we understand what's going on. That allows us to rejoice in the midst of suffering. But we never rejoice because of suffering. But in our suffering, God produces some really amazing things in our lives. He produces perseverance or stick-to-itiveness. He produces character, and that character produces hope. And I want to focus the rest of our time on that word, hope. Hope is not blind optimism. Look, I'm a fairly optimistic person. I just assume that the best possible outcome is going to happen 100% of the time. That's not what I'm encouraging us to live like in light of our suffering. But what hope is, the reason that we can have hope in the midst of any season in this world, is hope is actually assurance of an unearnable future because of God's love for you that was demonstrated by Jesus for you and is continually revealed to you by the Holy Spirit. Now that is what we have our hope in. An unearnable future because of God's love that was demonstrated by Jesus and then revealed to us in and through the Holy Spirit. So that no matter what season we're going through, we know that we serve a God that loves us, so much so that He demonstrated it for us, and then gives us a little piece of Himself to walk through this world with. And the power of that hope allows us to learn to rejoice no matter what season of life we're going through, because we know we don't go through it alone. Thanks for tuning in, friends. We'll see you next time.